Hello everyone, welcome back to The Media Couple. I'm Rory.
And I'm Sophie.
Where we break down the latest in Celebrity Traitors.
Yes.
Oh, so you thought I was going to do the normal opening. No, this is a new video, a new playlist where we are talking Celebrity Traitors.
A new segment for the podcast as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So we will be doing these every week whilst we've got Celebrity Traitors going on because you guys loved our previous episodes so much about them. So we thought we'd keep this going.
Absolutely.
Anyways, we've got a lot to dive into today.
We
don't
do.
we? So this is week 3 of Celebrity Traitors.
Mm-hmm. Some big things have happened. We've lost some big players as well.
Some big dogs.
We've lost some big dogs. Big dog theory.
Yeah.
Done.
Shall we just say spoilers ahead?
Yeah, spoilers ahead. So obviously, if you haven't watched week 3 and you haven't watched the 2 episodes from this week, obviously do not continue listening or watching to this video.
Yeah.
Go and watch it though and then come back because it's really good.
It is.
So I think we should start by talking about, the loss of Joe Wilkinson.
Yeah, well, I think that's the
Because
thing that you took the biggest hit on personally.
I was actually heartbroken,
Yeah.
you know. I think it was Joe, the other Joe, Rugby Joe.
Yeah.
I'll call him Rugby Joe. He was heartbroken and I would have been in the same position. I think Joe Wilkinson was a fantastic character.
Yeah.
I also find it interesting that the traitors decided to murder him. So they obviously felt under threat by him.
I feel like Jonathan is on borrowed time
Yes.
at the moment. I feel like they are making some wild choices with who they are murdering
Yeah.
at the moment. And I just don't think it's helping them.
No.
I think Nick is so onto them.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Well, he is onto them. It's
Well,
unbelievable. But
Nick-
he needs to watch where he's stepping.
Well, I think it's interesting with Nick. So let's try and do this as a play-by-play because obviously they had the game and it was the chessboard game in this one, right?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
the traitors were asked like, who do you think has, who do you think's the biggest weak link, things like that, or who lacks strength or whatever. And obviously they gave it to Kate Garraway.
Poor case.
Okay, but she took it really well on the chin, I thought.
Yeah, she did.
I think she did.
But she is probably the weakest.
I mean, Alan said it famously, didn't he? Like, if people, if Kate didn't come down in the morning, no one would worry. They thought she'd walked into a broom cupboard.
So awful.
But it's interesting because Joe and Nick, I feel like they know each other are faithful. And they have actually started playing, and I think they've actually started playing as good faithfuls, right? In that moment, I thought, yes.
It feels like they're the only two, though, that are actually playing this game the way I feel they should be playing the game. Everybody else still feels a little bit too much like we're watching a PR move.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Nick and Joe are the two people right now who are really going in there with proper strategy and gameplay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where is everybody? Okay, to be fair, Jonathan. But Jonathan isn't being mean because he's a traitor.
No.
I think if Jonathan wasn't a traitor, he'd be meaner from the round table.
Yeah, I agree. I think, but it's interesting because in that moment where they were playing the game and they were playing the chess, Nick goes up to Joe and he goes, I think there's more traitors in my group, so I'm going to guess this answer wrong.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
And it was like, who
whispers.
do you think the strongest leader is in the pack? And obviously, the traitors went with Stephen Fry, and Nick put it on Jonathan, right? And that wasn't discussed in his group. So then they were like, he's sabotaging us. So Nick self-sabotaged his own group and relinquished the protection of a shield, right, in the task, purely because he was like, this is how we get to them, right? Because he believed in that moment it was either Stephen or Jonathan.
Yeah, strategy. But then again, he's the one who figured out the puzzles in the first episode.
Yeah.
So it's not that far of a leap to think, of course you're going to be the one who's going to have some gameplay and some strategy. I feel like let's get to the table then, because then that's basically what happens. They're all communicating throughout the rest of the day. The game is played, and then we get to the table and we start. I think this was one of the most exciting round tables of the series so far. It was one of the most exciting moments of the series so far.
It was so engaging. It was so fun.
We were on the edge of our seats, screaming.
I thought it was like wonderful.
And then when it ended at the end of the first episode,
I know it was,
it was like sudden death, and we were like,
yeah,
whole day.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, absolutely. The sudden death was really interesting. We lost Mark, but I think that moment where it was 50-50 around the table showed you that there's no strategy still.
No.
There was no strategy because both of them were faithful. David and Mark are both faithful, and everyone just went with a group collective, which is, again, well, they went with whoever they felt like, but there was no actual strategy there. There was no communication, right? Both arguments were heard. But then we get to the second night of the round table. So sadly, we lost Mark, which, I think was, a shame. And
I
then
think Mark was more upset.
Mark was very upset. But then to be fair, everyone was like, you're so theatrical. Like, he's like, oh, we've lost her. We've lost another one. You idiots. And it's like, Alan's like, all right, calm down. All right.
Alan was so funny with that when he was going in on Mark. I was like, oh my God, from being like a sweaty mess like he's really come into his own.
Alan has commented on that himself. He was like, first week I was here, I was melting. I couldn't even look anyone in the face. Now Alan is like, get over it. Yeah. They're dead.
Like, I'm going to kill you all.
He's like, get over it. Yeah. He's murdered so many of them.
And has no remorse.
He just doesn't care.
It's a little bit like, I think you might be liking this a little bit too much, Alan.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because round the second round table, right, when things were heating up, I think Alan needs to check himself.
Yeah.
He got very confident.
He did.
And then he was like, do you remember when Joe went,
the shield.
Joe was like, well, what do you mean? You have a shield. And then Alan was like, oh yeah, I've got a shield.
Yes.
And then Joe was kind of like,
and they did comment on that, if you remember, at the very end.
Yeah.
And that's where, this is where they're going to be like, yes, let's ignore Jonathan for the 15th time in a row.
I can't believe it. Yeah.
How is he still there?
He has literally ridden his luck so much. If he gets to the end.
But it will all go on Alan now, or because of what he did at the Shield, or Kate will just convince everybody that it's Nick.
Oh, I know.
When she was like, it's the only evidence I've had so far. I'm like,
Kate, you need to be in the room, okay? All right? You need to be in the room, please.
I literally was like, I just want to shake her.
I do as well. You just can't with her. it's like there's no way you'd suspect her as a traitor.
Well, no.
No chance.
She seems so sweet, and she's seems like such a lovely person as a human. I think that's her downfall in the game.
Absolutely.
Is that she always looks at people and thinks of the best in people.
Yeah, she's so...
And the point of the game is you think everyone's a liar.
It's to be like, everyone's trying to get you, Kate.
Exactly.
It's not like we're all just having a nice holiday, relaxing. Like, it's like, you've got to play the game.
I think that's why.
Because that's why they all said in the board game, like the actual game they played, they said, Kate, you're just not getting involved enough. She's like, well, I just don't know.
Yeah, because she thinks everybody's really nice and everybody's really truthful.
Like, no, I'm just here to have a nice time. Okay, like that's it.
I would love to have Kate's outlook on life. Just it feels like she just goes through life looking like everything's
Maybe
good.
Kate will make it to the final and be like, I think everyone here is faithful.
I think from a traitor's perspective, Kate is definitely... Because do you remember they did speak about it? Oh, like Jonathan was like, should we get rid of her? And they were like, no.
Yeah, Kat and Alan, yeah.
Which maybe this is the ultimate gameplay from Kate. Maybe the ultimate
game... Could you imagine?
Maybe
she was the smartest all along.
Yeah, and playing dumb to be kept around by the traitors because, she's so silly, she doesn't know anything and she always guesses wrong.
Yeah.
And it's the ultimate game from Kate to get to the end. Who knows? She could be
the strongest faithful. Yeah. It's a really good question because I think when, like Nick, when he went, I sabotaged the mission today.
Yeah.
Right? I think that Kate then was like, well, Nick, well, now I automatically think it's you. And it's like, that is such a faithful play. Like, I don't understand how you could, he has just admitted to the room that he sabotaged and relinquished a shield for himself. I just think that's such a faithful play.
I know.
Like, Nick is the strongest faithful in that room.
But it's like, I don't know, he's essentially... He's outplaying everyone.
Do you think it was right of him to say it around that table?
If he was
Because you said it turned it on Jonathan again. Didn't you?
I think it did, but I also think it really put Nick out. He exposed himself in that moment. I get why. He exposed himself to save his friend Joe, faithful friend Joe, right? But I think it would work if they were playing with people who were better at gameplay.
Yeah.
But Nick is the only person there, apart from Joe at the moment, who's really thinking with strategy, I think.
Yeah.
Apart from the traitors.
Because he is on Cat.
Yeah, he's on Kat. He's on Jonathan. Why is Jonathan still there?
I know. I mean, I can't believe that. I can't believe it.
Oh, he's going to get to the end.
I think Jonathan.
No, he's
I
not.
don't think
Surely
so.
not.
I think Jonathan will go. But then,
there's so much heat on
Is it
him.
7 that have gone? 7 or 8 so far?
Oh, there's
that have
so
gone?
many.
They are terrible at this game. How are 3 traitors still in this game?
But what it goes to show is that, first of all, all these people had prior relationships with one another,
Yeah.
right? And that instantly has come into the game, and you can see that. Secondly, I still think the fact that they are all TV people and are thinking about their public image is genuinely having an impact.
Yeah.
And third, where's the financial incentive for them?
Well, yeah, there isn't any.
There isn't.
Yeah.
So I think you combine all those things. I do think it's having an impact on the game.
Yeah, and I think
that's why everybody's like, just kill him.
just play better. Like that's why the reason Nick and Joe are now teaming up is because you can see they're getting frustrated. Yeah. Because they're like, we keep losing. We have to be better. Yeah. Like they've asked Kate to come forward more and help them. And then did you notice when Joe? Joe, when Stephen obviously got banished. Stephen Fry.
I mean, to be fair though, I did think that Stephen Fry was going to have more gameplay than he did.
I know. I thought he'd be better at catching them.
Well, I just thought he'd be more. I thought he'd be more like into the gameplay of it. I don't think he really, or we maybe didn't see it. Yeah. But I don't think he was really in the gameplay element of it, and I really thought that would be one of his fortes. I mean, maybe it is. We didn't see it.
Yeah, true.
But from what we saw, it didn't seem like he was really doing that much.
No.
He was doing the same as everybody else.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I thought he was quite like relaxed in a lot of it, and people almost put him on the pedestal a lot more than himself being put on the pedestal almost.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he got axed by some people as well. This is what I mean. People are gauging it off like how Stephen reacted when they were like, no, we should divide the team in half just now, like split it. And then Nick was like, let's do it again because that makes it fairer. Split 50-50 again. And then Stephen was like, oh, come on, let's just get on with it. And then people base their assumptions off of that moment.
But that is, I mean, when you've got nothing to go on, you do clutch at straws. Yeah. That is something that which you should probably think about if you're a faithful.
I guess that's the thing, yeah. But I mean, what I was going to say about Kat, right? This is where my theory of she's not going to be able to hide forever, which is why Nick's gone after her. Nick is quite a quiet guy as well. I think he's noticed that Kat could be an awesome traitor. Yeah. And I think when you're too quiet in the traitors, it can only last so long. And Joe looked at Kat after the banishment and said, Kat, I need you to get more involved. I need your help. Yes. Like, I need you in this with me. And because he's like, I don't believe you're a traitor. And she's like, yeah. No, I'll help more. But you remember, because Nick and Joe had that conversation, and Nick had told Joe that he thinks Kat's a traitor. So Joe is now trying to cozy up to Kat, which makes sense. I love it. We're seeing some gameplay.
It's so good. We need to get. It's clearly taken them far too long to get into this gameplay.
Too long.
And I think that's also what we spoke about on the last episode when we spoke about traitors. That's also what Claudia was saying. You've got to stop being so polite. Yes. Because this game is boring otherwise and doesn't work.
And actually think, like, play with a strategy, team up with people. Because ultimately what they've done, Joe and Nick have formed, a friendship, and they've gone, we're both faithful. Here's the game plan. It's the first time we've actually seen the faithful group together.
Talk of an alliance. It's the first time we've actually seen an alliance.
Did he say the word alliance?
He did. About 300 of you told me that he said the word alliance. So yes, I know about 100,000 of you have seen me question that, and now obviously think that I have a memory of a goldfish, which I do. But yes, he said the word allies. Yeah. He said the word allies. So
thank you, Kate.
Yes. Thank you.
But I mean, it was really, really exciting round table. It was a really exciting banishment, and I'm just really curious to see who is going to get murdered. I feel like my preference would be Nick. I think if you're a traitor, you get rid of Nick. I know that Joe is onto them as well, but I feel like Nick is a clever guy. And I know it's hard and it's obvious, but you can control the narrative when the smartest person is out of the room.
Yeah.
And I feel like Nick is someone, because then who have you got? You've got Lucy, you've got Kate, you've got Celia. Like, I feel like Nick. Celia's good. She is good. But I feel like Nick is the most clever. Is the smartest one there now.
Yeah. So he is the biggest threat to the traitors. The question is, do the traitors know?
That's true.
I think on that note, we will leave it there, and we will be with you next week to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay tuned, guys. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you ever so much for listening, for watching. As Sophie said, this is a new playlist we're putting out on YouTube and on our podcast platform. So please like, comment, engage with us. Tell us all your thoughts. Tell us what you think about the show so far and the banishments and
what I've misremembered.
What Sophie's misremembered. Yeah, absolutely. Or me, I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you for being here, guys. And we will see you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.